What is the state of black women in your generation? They can't find husbands. They have to go and get jobs on their own, those who are working. They have these babies, they have to provide for themselves, and they are perceived as angry women.
You date black women?
Yeah, when I date black women.
You say you date black women.
Yes.
And you say that so why are you continuing to date black women?
Because I know how to deal with them. I know how to show them how to overcome that anger. I'm not afraid of them.
Okay.
And I realize that they're angry.
So if they had more men like you in
Right.
the home who could, then yeah, I mean, I think there is going to be, you know, some sense of strength in that. But remember too, we were getting beaten and whipped in slavery too. So that our femininity was beaten out of.
You were getting what?
We were getting beaten and raped.
When did you get beat?
I'm just talking about culturally.
Who beat you?
Our slave masters. You were born on a plantation. I'm sure they got you.
No.
I'm sure they.
Blacks were better when it comes
to
when it comes to morality, when it comes to marriages, lack of abortions, treating people the way that they would like to be treated, owning property, getting educations, getting a good education in black universities and black schools. Blacks were better off then than they are today.
I do believe that integration was probably one of the worst things that happened to black people.
And why I agree with that. Forced integration was horrible. It should not have happened. Why do you agree to that?
Because I think it allowed us the opportunity to assimilate versus really thinking like we were talking about with Black Wall Street. Think about recycling, you know what I mean, our culture and our economics and our communities. I mean, we're a $1.1 trillion consumer spending people. So to the extent that we have that much money in our purses, why do our communities look the way they do? Because we have such economic leakage.
No, it's because they hate one another. They have so much anger,
I don't
and
think
that anger won't even let them live together.
I don't think, no, I think, but what are we spending that $1.1 trillion on? We're spending on red bottoms that we shouldn't, and cars, and materialistic things.
But that's what anger does. It causes you to look for something on the outside.
I don't think that that's anger. Why do you think black people, are you angry? You're black, are you angry?
I used to be angry. I had that black anger.
Okay, so how did you?
But I'm over it now. Were you honored by Al Sharpton group?
I was not honored personally by Al Sharpton. He has an organization called the National Action Network in their Los Angeles chapter.
Did you feel embarrassed by that?
No, why?
Did you think that was a good thing?
I think it's always be good to be acknowledged for your peers and your contributions in your community.
But Al Sharpton is such an immoral,
but it wasn't from Al Sharpton.
Poor example.
It wasn't
but they
from Al
represent
Sharpton.
him.
No,
Why did you reject it? They say, you know what, Al Sharpton is a bad example.
Because it wasn't from Al Sharpton.
And anyone who's connected to him, I don't want it.
It wasn't from Al
You
Sharpton.
do agree that Al is a bad example of a human being, right?
No, I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that? Why not?
Because I just don't. I just have a different opinion.
I read that you host a breakfast fundraiser at your home that Obama attended back sometime in 2012, is that right?
We did.
So are you disappointed that over the last 50 years that not one black politician, male or female, not one black preacher, not one black president has been able to go into the urban areas, clean out the gang violence and the drugs, and give normal black people a chance to breathe so they can rebuild or restart their lives? It's going to take a white savior like Donald Trump to do it. Are you disappointed?
White savior?
Yes.
Well, first of all, he was the first black president, and he adopted some of the baggage from the previous president.
Are you disappointed that he had the power of the United States of America behind him, and he had the police departments which would have supported him, and he did not one thing to end gang violence and drugs and crimes in the inner city?
I think he could have did more for black people if black people had an agenda.